Hello, Eon here. I'm recording in a different location from what I normally do, so that's probably why the audio sounds a bit different. This is kind of a sub-video or extra video off of my usual Total Drama Month videos. This one's just pretty much a one-shot. That's why there's probably just going to be one picture with it. Not really much editing done. This is pretty much just me giving my initial thoughts on the characters for Total Drama Revenge of the Island, well, what I've seen from their audition tapes anyway. Personally, I'm just going to wait until it shows up on Cartoon Network, or until I can find episodes in English to try to sit down to watch it. Well, all of that aside, I'm going to start out with my favorite character out of this entire group. Probably different from most people's, but irregardless, she's my favorite. Anne Maria. Out of all the characters' audition tapes I was watching, hers just made me laugh out loud. I just love how she reacted and just behaved in the video. She was saying that she never watched Total Drama before, but the only episode she ever watched, her instant reaction was that what she thought the show needed was her flair and her talent. In other words, she was obnoxious and egotistical enough to think she was a missing element on the show. They needed her singing and performing talents. What really made the video was that she pretty much tried singing at the end, and her voice was loud enough to break glass. That just made me burst out laughing. I loved that. The next character behind Anne Maria that I'd say is probably my favorite out of the group, well, personality-wise anyway, would definitely be Dakota. One of the comments I made in the DA journaling making about a similar topic is that she does kind of remind me of the character Sharpay out of the High School Musical movies. I hate High School Musical so damn much, but the character Sharpay, played by Ashley Tisdale, I do like Ashley Tisdale. Once I pretty much got past that, though, I like Dakota pretty much as I like Anne Maria. As a matter of fact, I'd like to see them form a friendship of some sort. It'd be pretty interesting to see them working together to climb up the ladder of fame and establish showbiz careers and stuff for themselves beyond Total Drama. What I really like about Dakota is definitely her sassy attitude and the fact that she's going after fame. She's practically the definition of the song Fame by Lady Gaga. What I really like about her, though, is that I can see, even if she did get voted off of Total Drama, even if she got voted off, that wouldn't stop her. It seems like she's pretty much just using this as a springboard or launch pad to start off her career as a famous celebrity. I think that's pretty interesting, perspective to take with the Total Drama character. I mean, none of the others have really looked at Total Drama in that kind of perspective. They've all more or less been obsessed with getting the money. Dakota seems to be looking at things with the bigger picture. I mean, she's actually going in there with the intention of going beyond the reality television show, even when she gets voted off, regardless of whether or not she wins. I like that attitude. As a matter of fact, I've kind of wondered if any of the other characters on the show actually took that to mind. I know there's side stuff like Tyler and Lashana participating in other reality shows besides Total Drama, and the Total Drama brothers. I guess that's kind of branching out from it, but then they pretty much return to Total Drama, going right back to wanting to win the $1 million. What's the point of going back on Total Drama to win the $1 million if you could just use what fame you have right there and just star in L'Oreal commercials or something like that and make money off of that? Something I could see Dakota doing. But I digress. It's a cartoon, and I'm trying to bring logic into something that's a cartoon. I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but yeah, that was pretty much a meandering, useless tangent, and I haven't even gone through all the characters yet. Moving on beyond that, the next character I'd like to discuss, Silent B. It looks like he's riding around in a roadster, and that he's pretty hefty. I've seen this guy walking around and stuff. That he's actually standing, not actually wandering around with the roadster. And you know what? Just scratch what I said right there. It's pretty cool. His video, I don't know. I'm just going to quote something I put in the journal I'm posting on DA. This guy's awesome with a capital A. He doesn't even have to speak to show you how cool he is. Yeah, that's definitely what I think of him. It's absolutely freaking awesome that he doesn't even have to say a word, and he's showing off how cool he can be just with all the technology he has and all the stuff he has around him. I don't know. He just seems like a really interesting character. I can't really describe him much, considering I didn't really see much from his video. But considering the fact that he didn't even say one word, that just kind of makes you more curious about the character, I suppose. What his motivations are for being on the show, what his motivations are to get the $1 million, what more there is behind him. In other words, yeah, that's enough to pretty much question his character and what's behind his character, I suppose. Moving on from that one, Cameron. When I first saw this character, I honestly thought that he was going to be a case like Harold. In other words, I honestly thought he was going to be Total Drama's attempt at making a parody character, similar to Urkel off of Family Matters. I was wrong. He's more like, Double D off of Ed, Edd n Eddy, but that's not a bad thing. He seems like a pretty likable, kind of shy, kind of timid character. I really want to see him branch out of his shell and sort of, not be so timid and scared. In other words, I want to see him live up to his potential. He's one of those characters that I'd like to see character development for, because there's a lot of obvious character development that could take place with him. Well, that's just going off of his audition tape. It seems like he called himself a bubble boy, so I'm guessing as soon as he actually gets onto the show, his first reaction is going to be like, I need to decontaminate everything, and stuff like that. There's quite a few jokes you could set up with that, and let's just hope that the first characters that he interacts with are understanding of his case, or that he can adapt fairly quickly. As I said, I haven't seen the first few episodes yet, so I don't know how the characters are really going to play out beyond the audition tapes. I'm just kind of speculating and commenting here. The next character I want to discuss, Mike. I've kind of looked around, and the rumor is that this guy has 4 different personalities. Okay, that kind of has me interested, the fact that he actually has a mental disorder. That makes him unique amongst the entire Total Drama cast. I mean, a lot of the other characters seem pretty similar to some of the other ones that have made an appearance on the show already. And just that alone makes him an interesting case. But beyond that, I wasn't necessarily impressed with his audition tape. He's probably more interesting on the actual show than he was in just that, though. So I'm going to give it a bit more time before formulating more of an opinion. But I can say this much, if he's going to be one of the only characters really getting into some sort of romantic relationship with some of the female characters on the show, presumably Anne Maria and Zoe, actually thinking about that, it'd be pretty interesting to see how he goes about forming romantic relationships. And on a side note, I'd like to see what would happen if he met up with Cody and Harold. It'd be pretty cool to see him facing off against Harold. Who has more super-duper skills, considering that's a point that both of them seem to like to brag about when it comes to Total Drama. Next character, Lightning. Alright, I'll just get this out of the way. As soon as I heard that this character's name was Lightning, I happen to know somebody on DeviantArt named Zeo Lightning. Check out his page. Yes, that is a spot for promotion. If you don't know who that is and haven't seen his page yet, I highly recommend that you do. Going beyond that, as soon as I really saw what he was like, it took me a couple minutes to get past the fact that he was just speaking about himself in third person. I found that absolutely freaking hilarious. I don't know, it just reminded me of Bob Dole. Bob Dole. Bob Dole, Bob Dole, Bob Dole. Bob Dole. But that particular habit of his could probably get irritating right away, couldn't it? I don't know. Or does he refer to himself in the third person all the time, I'm wondering? On another note, I'm kind of hoping that even though he's a sports type like Tyler, can he actually play sports? I mean, can he... He's bragging that he's the one that drags his football team, but that might just be a spout of ego or arrogance on his part. I'd really like to see a character on the show that can throw football or is adept at sports. Well, a character besides Alejandro, that is. Why I say this is the fact that there is a scene in Total Drama World Tour where he kicked a soccer ball and did so very adept. Or adroit, pretty much. It'd be pretty cool to see Lightning toss a football and have it do a perfect spiral. Personally, I'm not really a huge football fan, but it'd still be pretty neat to see a sports type that could actually play sports. No offense to Tyler. I mean, the fact that his character is based around being a athlete that isn't really very good at being an athlete, that's pretty interesting, but hey, if Lightning happens to be good at sports, he'd be a pretty good compliment to Tyler. It'd be pretty cool if they met up, too. And if Lightning could actually help Tyler get over streak of sports failures. It'd be pretty cool to see Tyler have a mentor, maybe somebody that could teach him how to throw a football spiral or something. I don't know, that's just my opinion on that. And another couple of comments on Lightning right here. I can't help thinking of the Red Ranger, of the Red Power Ranger off of Power Rangers with this character. Why? Why am I correlating him with Power Rangers? I don't know why. I just am. Moving on from Lightning, next one I want to discuss, Sam. Beyond all the other characters that I've seen so far, out of every last one of them, he seems like he's lacking a bit of depth and dimension. The only thing that seems to really be defining him is the fact that he plays video games. Is that it? Not that that's not impressive. I'm kind of wondering how far and how wide of a scope his video game playing abilities are. It's just, there's gotta be a little bit more to him than that. I mean, as soon as he gets on Total Drama, he's not going to be able to play video games 24/7. Actually, I'm kind of interested to see how he approaches Total Drama, considering, is he, in some of the posters, I saw him carrying around a, something like a Nintendo DS with him everywhere, so does that mean he's going to be trying to sneak in a video game every now and then, or trying to play video games even when his teammates are telling him, stop playing the damn game, put it down, can you put that thing down for at least 2 minutes? The sad thing is, this character, in both his height, his physique, the way he talks, practically everything about him reminds me of somebody I actually know in real life, my best friend, as a matter of fact. He's probably going to kill me for correlating him with a Total Drama character. And this is probably another reason why I'd like to see more depth and dimension added to Sam. I have this morbid curiosity wondering if he could end up being close to an exact replica and personality of my real-life best friend. I highly doubt it, but still, that curiosity's there. The fact that I know somebody in real life that reminds me of a cartoon character. And other than Josh, Sam also kind of reminds me of the angry video game nerd. Yeah, probably because he's a popular YouTuber. Not really going to comment too much on that. It's just, it seems like Sam's a lot more patient and excited with his video games. In other words, he's not trying to smash him with the ping hammer every time he gets frustrated with it, like that particular YouTube personality does. Well, that's all I really have to say about that character. Yeah, from what little I saw, he really does seem like a cardboard cutout. His motivation for wanting to win the $1 million is pretty much unknown. Is he just going to buy a bunch of video games with it? Yeah, that much is pretty much obvious, but still. character development, por favor. Maybe I'll just put them into a case like Cameron or